Muted. Hi, everyone. Okay, good morning. We are going to talk all about parasites, which I know is everyone's favorite topic to talk about so early in the morning. But we are going to be hosting a group cleanse at the end of June. And so we've had so many people kind of inquire, what is parasite cleansing? What does it entail? Why should I do it? How do I know I have parasites? All the typical questions. So I figured kind of covering it all in a quick 20-minute Zoom would be the best way to talk about it. I'm going to talk a little bit about the body and science as well, and kind of why it's so important for us to be parasite cleansing for our overall health and for our long-term health, because I think it's something that we don't really associate with things like cancer and autoimmune and heart disease and things like that, but it has a really strong root cause. And it's something that a lot of other cultures, third world cultures do on a regular basis. It's an ancient practice. It's something that's passed down through generations using different herbs and diets and fasting. And a lot of those other cultures don't have a lot of these prominent diseases. So there is definitely something to it. And it's becoming more and more popular now in the United States. So I think it's really important for everyone to do them on a regular basis, but at least start with one and kind of notice the differences in your body. So if you've ever done a parasite cleanse, drop a 1 in the comments so I kind of know who is familiar with them and how many of you guys. But I'm really going to go deep into like all the details too. So if you've never done one and you're just curious, stay tuned. We'll get into all of that. I want to give you guys a little history of who I am. My name is Mandy Rose. I'm a holistic health and lifestyle coach. I actually started out as a personal trainer, which was awesome. I loved working out all through my early 20s. I found my passion in the gym and staying really fit and healthy that way. But as I started taking clients, I started realizing that the 1 hour in the gym was never going to be enough to overhaul someone's health. It was never going to be enough to compensate for the other 23 hours in the day that they had free range to eat and do other lifestyle choices. So then I got into fitness nutrition and realized the importance of nutrition. And as I took more and more clients, I was getting referrals from people coming in with their doctors saying, you need to lose weight, you need to manage your diabetes, you need to lower your blood pressure, losing a lot of weight. And as I would talk to these clients, I realized that the gym was not really their first option. We needed to get their body in a state of repair and regeneration, into detoxing. How could I put someone through an intense workout to lose weight when their adrenals were completely shot and they have no energy and they've been on the couch for a long time? So I started realizing, okay, health is not the same as fitness. And so that's how I kind of went into holistic health. I actually became my own first guinea pig. I have 2 autoimmune disorders when I was 25, Hashimoto's and celiac. And it kind of led from like a whole slew of things from my early 20s to get that diagnosis. And so as I started browsing through like the root cause, how was I going to heal my body? How was I going to reverse all of this? It always came back to gut health. Gut health was the root cause of everything. And so I kind of want to share a little bit about what gut health is. I think a lot of us hear it. It's a buzzword right now. There's so much in the media about gut health, but most people don't even know like what is our gut? Like, how is it even important to us, right? We think of our gut as in like where we digest food and where we get bloated, right? Or where we store a lot of weight. But our gut is so much more than that. Aristotle said that all disease begins in the gut, which is very true because over 70% of our immune system actually comes from our gut. And the reason for that is you eat food, right? And then it goes through your stomach and then we digest it. So we always say things like, you are what you eat, right? You are what you eat. But it's really, you are what you absorb. So you could be going out buying all the most expensive food, organic food, eating really clean, taking really expensive supplements. But if you're not absorbing those things, then it's kind of a waste of your money and your time. So we always have to look at the gut and like the root cause of everything, because most disease like autoimmune or even diabetes and things like that comes from malnutrition, poor nutrition. And if you're someone that suffers from any kind of digestive issue like celiac, Crohn's, irritable bowel syndrome, anything that is gut related, you already have a compromised ability to absorb nutrients. So these are really big deals when it comes to like food and turning our food into energy, and turning our food into nutrition so that our bodies can repair and rebuild all the cells. So our gut has something called a cell wall. And in that cell wall, it is one cell thick. So there's one cell that stops the food that we eat into absorbing into the bloodstream, because it has to be really thin, right? Because we have to get that food into the bloodstream really easily. But what happens is something called leaky gut. And I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of it, but I'm going to break it down really simple. Leaky gut is what happens when that one cell, which looks kind of like cheesecloth in your body, is really tight woven. It's like a really tight cheesecloth. And then we absorb the food through these little tiny holes, and all the toxic chemicals, alcohol, antibiotics, prescriptions that you're taking, anything that we don't want in our bloodstream stays out. And all the things that we do want to absorb goes through that cell wall right into the bloodstream. However, through everyday life, I mean, stress alone kind of ruins this gut lining. A round of antibiotics will ruin it. If you eat something with a lot of pesticides, chemicals, things that are really unfamiliar to the body, this cell wall will start to stretch out like this. It almost bangs into it like a bumper car, right? So now we have the cell wall that starts to look like this. And then next time you drink alcohol or take your prescription or take something that is toxic to the body, it will go right through these holes that was only supposed to be small enough to absorb our food. And what happens is now it goes into the bloodstream, and where the body goes, we don't want this here. What is this? And it sends out our fighter cells. And now we have this inflammation, this inflammatory response all over our body through our bloodstream that is saying, high alert, there is something in here we don't want. And that creates this systemic inflammation that we notice in our body when we become bloated, when we have skin issues, eczema, things like that, right? So leaky gut is a really, really big issue. Also, in our gut is where all of our serotonin, our dopamine, all of our hormones, female hormones, estrogen, progesterone, all of these things are created in the gut. We always think that they're created in the brain, but they're actually created in the gut. Why? Because that's where our food is being turned into the building blocks to make hormones. It's actually all happening in the gut. So we call our gut the second brain. And that, therefore, we have to be really particular with like our microbiome and making sure that everything in there is a really healthy and safe environment for this whole process to occur. So this is where parasites come in and can be very toxic to the body and create, like I said, all disease begins in the gut. You add some parasites in, and very quickly our health and our vibration starts to sink, because parasites love to live in our gut. It's a really happy place because it's where they're fed, right? Everyone loves the kitchen because that's where we get fed. That's like the kitchen to parasites. They hang out there, they wait for you to eat, and then they're going to start to absorb all the food, the nutrients, the nutrition, everything that you're eating, they take and then lay eggs and then proliferate. So what is a parasite? We have to kind of look and break that down. Parasites are opportunistic. They thrive and live on pretty much attacking hosts. We are the hosts, right? And their only purpose is really to grow and then lay eggs and grow some more. So a lot of us have had parasites, the same parasites, for years and years and years, sometimes since childhood. And you can be unaffected by a parasite for a very long time. I mean, our immune system is incredible, and it can actually tackle multiple infections at the exact same time. So you can live with a parasite, no problem, for a certain time until you get sick with something else. So maybe you, some point in your life, get like a herpes virus through, just our daily routine. Maybe you get the flu. Maybe you would get like Epstein-Barr or shingles or something like that takes over your immune system. And now these parasites can run freely because your immune system is distracted by something else. And that's when we really see a lot of symptoms of parasites start to spread. We can also absorb multiple different types of parasites. So some of them live in our gut, but some of them can live in different parts of our body, like our brains, our lungs, our kidneys, our liver especially. We all have a lot of liver flukes. So you can have multiple types in multiple parts of the body. And I know that sounds like totally crazy, but it's real and it happens all the time. Like I said, ancient cultures have known this for years, and they're constantly purging parasites. The other thing that I want to kind of mention is our consciousness is, our thoughts. And a lot of our thoughts come from the hormones that we produce, right? So like women who are pregnant, they have a lot of issues with, just not mental health, but like we start to think thoughts, right? Racing thoughts. It's really common with women. If you have a lot of testosterone, you tend to have a lot more like aggressive thoughts. Like we know this to be fact, you know, our hormones and our neurotransmitters influence our thought patterns and our consciousness. So like I said, our serotonin is produced in the gut. So now you have parasites living in your gut, and they're literally preventing you from making happy brain chemicals, preventing you from making dopamine, which gets you up in the morning, gets you excited every day. It prevents you from making female hormones, like making testosterone into progesterone or making testosterone into estrogen, because they're in there stealing the nutrients that would create those hormones. So we can really start to think differently when we have parasite infections, and you might not even notice it because you've had it for so long that you kind of just feel like, I'm just kind of that person, you know, like I see the world this way and that's just who I am. But you'd be really surprised when you do a parasite cleanse how clearer you can start thinking, how much different you view life and like daily routines, because you're not being bogged down by the consciousness of these parasites, right? They are their own living conscious being. They really are. And like I said, they take over the host. And so for instance, a lot of people who have like food cravings, like sugar cravings, oftentimes those sugar cravings are not you wanting sugar. It's the parasites signaling to your own brain that you want sugar, so that you eat sugar and actually feed them. So a lot of my clients that come to me that can't stop eating like sugar before bed, you know, have like this intense craving. It's not just like, there's a difference between like being sassy and wanting ice cream, right? Like we all love to have sweet treats. That's just like a given. It feels good. But there's a difference between that and like literally having an addiction to sugar, because if you don't have it, you're going to become irritable. You won't be able to go to sleep. Like that isn't you, that is your parasites. Because our bodies don't crave these things. Our bodies crave fruits and vegetables and things that make us feel alive. You know, if you guys have tried the power shake, you have one power shake and you feel like your cells turning on and vibrating, because that's what our bodies crave. So it's really important for us to address the parasite issue and to cleanse them out. So let's see here. So there are a lot of links. There's studies out there that show that a lot of cancers stem from parasite infections. I mean, it's not like, oh, this causes this necessarily. But like I said, parasites kind of rob us of our nutrients, diminishing our health. Over time, our cells get bogged down by not having the nutrition, and then that leads to systemic disease over the course of our lives. So a great way to start, especially if you're young, is to start doing these regular parasite cleanses. So how often to do that? This is a question I get a lot, right? You're not going to live on a parasite cleanse. Like, I don't want anyone to like take what I'm saying or the research that you might do if you get off this call as like this doomsday kind of news. We have parasites, like I said, our bodies are going to be able to fight them off. But regularly kind of cleansing them twice a year is usually what I notice to be really impactful for people. So every 6 months to do a parasite cleanse. I always say switch it up. So you're going to do like one cleanse one time, and then you can do the same cleanse, but you're going to want to add in like a couple extra herbs, because every different herb is going to kill different types of parasites. So how do we get them? We're going to go through any questions that are really common. If you guys have any specific questions, drop them in the comments and I'll address them too. I just made a list of what most people ask me. So I'm going to run through those really quick. How do we get parasites? Because that's the thing. People are like, I live really clean. I eat really healthy. I live in America. Like, it's a cleanly place, right? So how could I possibly have parasites? Where would I get them? Meats are a really big source of parasites. So if you're someone that is a meat eater, I am, pork is probably the most highest infested parasitic meat because pigs don't sweat. So they are unable to detox themselves. So a lot of pork has parasites. Salmon and big fish does. I mean, they get it from the water. So oftentimes if you're eating sushi, there's so many videos on the internet, like, don't look if you can't stand it, but I've seen so many videos of like people slicing open salmon and there being like a huge tapeworm in there. So I've seen it in salmon that I've bought. I know it's in there. Fruits and veggies, this is a really big one too. Everyone knows the story about the apple with the worm, right? The worm in the apple. We've like heard that story since we were kids, and it's real. You know, parasites aren't necessarily like worms that you see in everything. They're very microscopic in some sense, especially on fruits and vegetables. So I would encourage everyone, before you consume anything, whether it has like a peel that you're going to take off, like an orange or not, soak it in apple cider vinegar for like 5 to 10 minutes. 5 minutes if it's like berries and apples and things that you're going to eat with the skin. 10 minutes for things that have like an actual rind, like pineapple or oranges or something that you're actually going to peel. And what that's going to do is it's going to help starve off the parasites that are living on the surface of that fruit. But there's still going to be ones on the inside, you know, like I've eaten an apple before when I'm like, oh crap, there was like, there was like a little tiny, like something on the other side of that apple or something bored in. Oops, too late, right? It happens. If you have pets, this is a really big one. We deworm our cats, dogs, horses, farm animals. Cows get like all the time, all the farmers for their cows give them anti-parasitic medications because animals do carry them, and we know that to be a fact. So if you have a pet and it licks you, you know, a dog licks your face, more than likely to get parasites that way, and they can enter our bodies in many different ways. You know, you pet your dog and it licks your hand and you touch your face, like there you go, something so simple like that. Another big source is lakes and rivers, and obviously the ocean as well, but lakes and rivers especially. So for people who live up north and they're in like the summer season right now, oftentimes you're like hanging out by the lake and like think about it, you're drinking. You know, a lot of times people drink and eat when they're camping or boating. So all it takes is you to be standing in the water, drinking your beer, and you somehow like touch your beer can with the water and then you drink it. Parasites can enter the body that way. Oftentimes too, if you have a very weak immune system, we kind of accumulate parasites a lot easier as well. Like I said in the beginning, our immune system is amazing at kind of keeping these things at bay, but our immune system will never rid us necessarily of parasites. It will just kind of keep them at a hush so that they don't infect us all over. So that is kind of how we get them. Symptoms, there are so many. It would take me forever to really list all the symptoms, but really what I tell people is, how do you know if you have parasites? Are you a human, and do you live on planet Earth? Because if you can answer yes to both of those questions, you have parasites. But I'm going to go through a list really quickly just of like very common symptoms that people experience when they have a parasite infection. A lot of them obviously are related to different health issues, but like I said, many health issues have root causes in parasites. So mood disorders, I kind of talked about that. Strong sugary cravings, I mentioned that. Anemia or iron deficiency or any kind of malabsorption issue. If you are deficient in vitamin B, B12, if you get tested in your blood, if you get tested for your iron levels and you're constantly low, like I said, we are what we absorb, not necessarily what we eat. So you could be taking iron supplements every day and still not absorbing it because something is in the way that's eating the iron. And parasites really love iron, trust me. Skin ailments, anything with your skin. If you have cystic acne, you can see like I have acne breakouts, and I just got tested for over 6 different types of parasites. Eczema, psoriasis, rosacea. You see this a lot on like children. They'll have a lot of like ringworm or fungal infections, you know, anything like that that you see with the skin. It's usually the gut coming out of the skin. Reoccurring yeast infections. If you're a woman and you have a lot of like UTI, yeast infections, and they keep coming back, it's candida. It's parasites eating candida and feeding that sugar infection. Bleeding gums is a really big one too. Anything with your mouth, if you're having like gingivitis or any kind of like bleeding when you brush your teeth, our mouth is a direct reflection of our microbiome in our stomachs. They are directly connected. So any kind of dental issues, if you're someone very prone to getting cavities, have a lot of different like issues with like root canals and things like that, a lot of times it's parasites just kind of bouncing back and forth. Anxiety, nervousness, depression. There is research after research showing that a lot of people with depression, after doing parasite cleanses, really lift their mood and lift their brain fog. So it's really important for that. Teeth grinding is a big one. Sleep disorders is a big one because parasites become more active. There's 2 specific times they become more active. So if your symptoms are worse during these 2 times, it really could be a parasite thing. Sleep at night, parasites become very active. They are nocturnal. So if it's like in the evening and you're trying to go to bed and you become very irritable, you can't sleep, you're constantly waking up, if your symptoms of like your skin, like I said, or mood gets worse in the evening, definitely parasites. And also around the full moon. I mean, this has been something that everyone like jokes about, right? Like all the crazies come out during the full moon. That really has to do with parasites. They become very active around the full moon. They follow this cycle of the earth and the moon cycles. So yes, if your mood is highly affected or you're just feeling all sorts of off during the full moon, probably parasites. Food allergies, food sensitivities, it kind of goes back to the leaky gut thing I was sharing. Loss of appetite. If you're someone that always feels like bloated or nauseous, or you're eating and you're just not feeling like your normal self when you eat and you digest food, that's a big sign. Sexual dysfunction, this goes back to the hormones I was explaining. We're not getting enough testosterone, our libido goes down. That's a big reason for parasites. Fatigue, that's a huge one. Because with fatigue, again, it goes malabsorption. You're not absorbing, so then there you go. Food cravings, digestive problems, breathing problems, that comes from parasites in the lungs. If you're hungry all the time because you're not getting enough nutrients, you're always hungry, that's a parasite. And any kind of like joint issues. A lot of times parasites can get into our muscle and our joints. So often when you see it in pork and meats and fish, it's in the muscle. And so they love to bury in there. There's a big blood supply there. So anyone that has maybe like, if you have joint problems in the same area over and over again, that can be parasites as well. Yeah, okay, so perfect. So let's kind of go into the cleanse, because that's really what everyone is super curious about, right? After we talk about all the scary part, it's like, how the heck do I get them out of my body? What is the best way to do it? So a parasite cleanse is more than just killing the parasites and ridding them of our bodies. We have to do a two-step approach. One step is killing the parasites and getting them out. And the other part is boosting our immune system so that if we ever get exposed again, our bodies are able to say, no, thank you, get the hell out of here, we don't want you anymore. So we have to do this two-part approach. So that is kind of why I do the parasite cleanse that I've chosen, and that so many of the coaches on this call offer to their clients as well. It's been the one that I found that is the most holistic approach. You could take a couple herbs every day, and yes, you might kill some, but you're not really addressing the gut health part or the immune system part. So that is what we kind of offer and talk about all the time. There are a couple people that cannot parasite cleanse. So unfortunately, if you are pregnant or breastfeeding, I do not recommend doing a parasite cleanse. It's just a little too aggressive, and we don't want to get it into the breast milk, and we don't want it harming the baby. These herbs are pretty potent, and not necessarily like the herbs and the parasite cleansing is what hurts the baby or the mama. It's that they do have other side effects that can irritate, a pregnancy. So just wait until you're done breastfeeding, and then you can hop into a parasite cleanse. It doesn't mean you can't do the cleanse that we're doing for our group cleanse. You can join us on the group cleanse. You just wouldn't take the super cleanse R. So we can boost your immune system, we can heal the gut, we can do all the other components. We just can't have you actually killing the parasites. And then Brooke, I saw that you asked about kids. Kids can do a parasite cleanse. This is very important. Many, many children are riddled with parasites because unfortunately they're not as cleanly as us adults. They don't wash their hands as often. They play with other kids. They're touching each other, right? So all it takes is one child to get a pinworm infection from their dog at home and then go to school and then start touching all the other kids. So for children, you can do the similar parasite cleanse. They do have other ones that are a little bit more gentler for children. So yes, you can do it. You would just do minimal doses and ease them into it. But I would say any child over the age of 5, just because they're old enough to kind of experience the process, can do a parasite cleanse. So that is no problem at all. The other question I get is, am I going to see them come out? Probably, maybe. You kind of want to, right? I know it sounds gross, but better out than in is my theory. Am I going to be pooping all day? This is a question I get all the time. People are so concerned that they can't do their daily routine. No, that's not going to happen. The formulation for this Super Cleanse R has all the herbs that you need, and it also has something in it called senna leaf. Senna leaf is the part of the herb that is going to help actually pull the parasites off the intestine or off the tissue that it's attached to, and then it's going to help flush them out in like a really clean experience, if I can keep that as like PG as possible. So no, you're not going to be like in the bathroom all day long. The process of a parasite cleanse is 10 days, you take the herbs. What that does is it's going to kill all the adults, right? All the adults that are active. But then all those adults have already laid eggs. So we need to wait a 20-day incubation period for all the eggs to hatch. And then we do another round for 10 days. And that's going to kill all the eggs before they are adult enough to lay their own eggs. So hopefully that makes sense. It's 10 days on, 20-day break, 10 days, another bottle of the Super Cleanse R. So you really have two options to join us for our group cleanse. I love group cleanses. I've done them 1 to 2 times a year for the last 3 years. I find that most people love to do something that's like new and a little nerve-wracking in a group of people, so you can kind of share your experience. And oftentimes people want to do a cleanse, but they, you know, their friends, their family, the people around them aren't quite ready to do it yet, but you still want to have someone that you can like go to and vent. When we do our group cleanses, we also throw everyone in a Facebook group. So you have not only access to all the coaches that are offering this group cleanse and their practice and all the holistic practitioners that do this, but you'll have their advice. You'll be able to chat with the other people doing it. Every single day we'll pop in and give different advice, lifestyle tips. So you'll learn so many other things about health while you're going through the process. We share recipe ideas, schedules, like anything that you really need, you're going to find in this group. So that is a little bit about the group cleanse. And like I said, you have two options when you do this. You're going to order all the products yourself. So that's the really cool thing. You don't have to wait to order or through us. We'll give you a link. We'll give you a code. It's free to join the group cleanse. This is awesome. If you're someone that's wanted to work with a coach one-on-one, but you just haven't had the resources to do so, you will get access to them for free in the group cleanse. So that's really cool. We don't charge for people to do that, which I love. So the two options are either you can do what's called the ultimate lifestyle transformation. This is something that I suggest to all my clients that are really new to their health journey. They have a lot of different health issues going on. They have a lot of the symptoms I just read off that list. They know that they have an autoimmune disorder. They know that they have high blood pressure. They know they have, blood sugar issues. Something that's going to take longer than just like 10 days to solve. Do the ultimate lifestyle transformation. It is 30 days. Then you'll do the extra 10 days for the parasite cleanse, and you're going to get all the nutrition you need. You're going to get the gut health cleanse. We can really clear out a lot of toxins in the gut and really start healing up that gut lining. You're going to flood your body with nutrition. We're going to boost your immune system. Really consider taking the solid month to heal your body. So that's the ultimate lifestyle transformation, and it comes with the parasite cleanse. That's the first option, and it's really honestly the best. It's the one that I do every 6 months. And then the other option is just doing the 10-day, it's called 10-day cleansing. And that is just a parasite cleanse. So again, you're going to get the thing for the gut health. You're going to get the parasite cleanse tablets, the nutrition, the protein, the anti-inflammatory drink. You'll get everything that you need, but that is more for people who've already been following a structured routine. If you're someone that really eats clean, maybe you're vegan, maybe you've been on a health journey for a long time and you've cleared out a lot of things and you're just looking to do like that extra little boost, that is going to be the 10-day super cleanse, our parasite cleanse. So that is an option as well. So there's the two options. Feel free to reach out to me or any of your coaches and they can help you decide which one's best and how to do each one of them. Let's see here, Brooke, with the 10-day, do you get enough super cleanse on the 10 days? No. So with the ultimate lifestyle transformation or the 10-day parasite cleanse, that is just for the first round of parasite cleansing, the first 10 days. For both options, you're going to want to order a second bottle of the Super Cleanse R. This is what it's called if you guys can see it. You're going to want to order a second bottle because that is what you're going to take at day 30. And when you take that second round, you don't need to be as strict as the first 10 days because we've killed so much. We've healed the gut. We boost the immune system. So that second 10 days, you don't have to be as strict with everything else. So that's really a plus for a lot of people. The group cleanse, let me just give you a few details on that. The group cleanse is going to start June 22nd. It is a Monday. I always find that Mondays are the easiest day to start so that over the weekend you can get prepped and ready, get all your foods ready. You'll get an approved foods list. It's pretty much fruits, veggies, lean protein outside of the 10-day parasite cleansing window. You'll get, complex carbs. So don't worry if you're an athlete, we're going to make sure you're eating enough of like quinoa and rice and all those things. It's for any kind of diet. So whether you're vegan, whether you are just pescatarian, whatever your diet is, we will fit it in. We just want you eating clean and healthy and foods from the ground. I think that's really important no matter what your diet is, to kind of focus on that as well. The parasite cleanse, the first 10 days will be done by the 4th of July. So if you're someone looking to kind of reboot your health before the 4th of July weekend, get rid of some bloating, get rid of some inflammation, feel better, heal some acne or some skin issues, it's a really good option to do that. Any other questions that you guys might have, drop them in. Like I said, reach out to your coaches. I'm always available to do a 3-way chat. We can do that through Facebook Messenger, through text message, through Zoom, FaceTime, video call, whatever. If you have personal health issues that you're concerned about, I'm more than happy to kind of walk you through that and see if this is a good option for you. Otherwise, chat with your coaches. They all either have done a parasite cleanse or know how to coach you through it. Join the group cleanse. It's so much fun because you get to learn so many other things. And reach out with any other questions. If you ladies don't have anything right now, feel free to reach out to me later. And I think I pretty much covered it all. Essentially, I just like to encourage everyone to really focus on root cause. If you could get to the bottom of it and heal your gut and get rid of all these symptoms, you're going to feel so much better, right? And at this point in like society and the way that the world is working right now, there's so much anger, there's so much violence, there's so much chaos, fear and anxiety and mental health issues. And I feel like if we could have every single person just do a parasite cleanse and just see if that helps, with the root cause of the mental issues. And when we feel crappy, we act crappy. Like I know when I'm sick and I have the flu, I'm sassy, I'm not happy, I am not my best self. So when you have these other infections, of course, it's going to bring us down a little bit in vibration. So I really encourage you guys, get your mom, get your friend, get your brother or sister, anyone that you think might benefit from this, like have them watch this, have them reach out to one of these coaches and just up-level the world like one person at a time. It's really my passion, if you guys haven't noticed through this call. So reach out with any other questions. I hope you guys have an amazing day and hope to see you in the group cleanse on the 22nd. Bye, guys.